In today's video, let me tell you a very interesting story. The story of Dr. Faustus. Especially for those of you who are learning English and want stories, here is a story you can listen to and repeat. Dr. Faustus is a famous literary classic in English literature. Those of you who are doing literature will benefit from this video because I shall tell you about the literary aspects of this great play by Christopher Marlowe called The Tragedy of Dr. Faustus. But for those of you who want to learn advanced English language, the literary analysis will be an excellent way of learning. It will teach you good vocabulary. It will teach you how to structure your ideas. So for both language learners and for students of literature, this video is very useful. Let us now begin. The story first. This is a story about a famous scholar of Germany. The original story is a German story. A great 16th century dramatist of English literature, Marlowe uses that story, but he changes it quite a lot. The story tells us that this famous scholar, who was well known in his university and who had knowledge of almost all subjects, he was excellent in every knowledge, and especially his knowledge of theology was excellent. But soon, since he was so good, he found all this very boring. Then he thought one very interesting area is magic. The term we use is necromancy. Necromancy is the term you will encounter in the play also, and for you to learn vocabulary. Magic, that is usually black magic. In this century, that is the 16th century, there were a lot of people who were trying to use magic to convert base metal into gold. They said, let us do this. Even today, so many experiments are going on when people want to discover how to live forever. We don't want to die, so let us do a lot of experiments to find a medicine which will make us immortal. These things keep happening. So Dr. Faustus was not satisfied with what he had. He wanted something more. And in the play, we see that he's tempted. Two magicians come and tell him that magic is the greatest place for his excellence, for his intellectual ability. His own colleagues feel very sad that why is this scholar getting into something which is not scholarly? But Dr. Faustus does not listen to anybody. He chooses magic. And then he brings one of the devils from hell, Mephistopheles. Mephistopheles represents Lucifer. Lucifer is the head of all the devils. And Mephistopheles is one person who comes, when he uses magic, Dr. Faustus brings Mephistopheles. And he says that I want immense power. I want a wonderful life. I want everything that is possible for a human being. But what will you give in return? That is the question Mephistopheles asks. He says, if Lucifer grants you this, then you have to write that at the end of 24 years, you will give your body and soul to the devil and you will go to hell. Why is Lucifer doing this? Because he wants more and more people in hell. This whole story about the fall of angels, I have told you in Paradise Lost, Book 1. please go to that video which is on Paradise Lost Book 1. You will know this is the Christian myth which these poets and dramatists are using. So it says that if you write that 24 hours you'll enjoy, years you'll enjoy, and then you will give your soul, then we can grant you this. Lucifer can give you everything that you desire. Faustus is young. He says, yes, 24 years is such a long time. I'm willing to give it. And therefore, he signs this bond in his own blood and gives it. He lives a wonderful life for 24 years. He wants to marry the most beautiful woman, and that is Helen of Troy. I'm sure all of you have heard the story of Helen of Troy. If you haven't, I'll tell you in some other video. But she's considered to be the most beautiful woman. Now, actually, Helen of Troy doesn't come, only an illusion comes. And he uses very nice descriptions for this beautiful woman. But at the end of 24 years, his time is finished. Then he regrets. He says, I don't really want to end. I don't want to die. I don't want to give my soul. I repent. I pray to God, please help me. But nothing happens. That is why it's called a tragedy. His soul is taken away. His withered body is lying there where all the other friends, his scholars, find that body. So the story tells us that we should not ask for something which we do not deserve. Whatever we get is good. We should accept that. That is the basis of the story, which Marlowe constructs into the plot with 5 acts. In the Elizabethan drama, 5 acts was what was given. The 5th act is very small. It is only the conclusion. The major action takes place in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th acts. Now let us talk about the literary aspects. Why did I call this play a tragedy? It is a tragedy in the classical sense because it has a chorus telling you many things. I did Shakespeare's tragedies, but we never came across a chorus. A chorus was a Greek machinery which is used here. The chorus is a commentator. It is not a character. Also, by watching a play like this, Aristotle said that we get rid of our pity and fear. We have excessive emotion. Today we call it emotional intelligence. So you should not have excessive emotion. Aristotle tells us this in the terms catharsis. He says for the audience, watching this play is like washing yourself of pity and fear. You get rid of all the negative emotions, the emotions which are harmful for you. That is one of the reasons why it is a tragedy. Also, Dr. Faustus is a tragic hero because although he is excellent, I told you that he's a great scholar, but he makes a wrong decision. He feels proud that I know everything. Now, there is only one thing which I don't know, and that is necromancy. I must become perfect in necromancy. This is what he does. And when he does such a thing, this we call as hamartia or tragic flaw. Hamartia also is a term which Aristotle uses in his book, Poetics. So when we have this idea that Faustus is a person who has this tragic flaw, the play becomes a tragedy. Then you also have a reversal of fortune. We call it as peripatia. And this reversal happens to Faustus because he's a great scholar, he's a renowned person. Suddenly, he falls completely to the degrading end. Reversal. He doesn't become higher and higher, but he comes lower and lower. These are the qualities which make the play a tragedy. Very often, this question is asked, and you need to know why it is a tragedy. Now, another important point when we are doing literary analysis is characterization. We have the character of Dr. Faustus, who's the central figure. We call him the protagonist. The protagonist is the most important character here. We can't call him a hero because he doesn't have heroic qualities. I already called him a tragic hero. Therefore, he is our protagonist. But there are other characters also. Mephistopheles plays a very important role because Faustus demands that Mephistopheles should serve him for 24 years. So for 24 years, Mephistopheles is always with Faustus. That is the entire plot of the scenes. The body of the play has Mephistopheles and Faustus always together. So he is also a very important character. And then you have the assistant of Dr. Faustus, that is Wagner. And he is a foolish person who keeps thinking that he can become as good as the scholar Dr. Faustus. He doesn't have the capabilities. He doesn't have the intellect, but he has the ambition. And ambition, as we know, is not a very good thing to have in excess. A little ambition is very good, but if you have it in excess, it makes you mad, and then that is not good at all. There are some minor characters who are used for the scenes where there is humor. And that is, it lightens the tragedy by having interludes. Interlude is a small break. And here, Wagner uses his knowledge of magic to trouble these two youngsters. Dr. Faustus uses his magic to trouble the Pope because they go to Rome and they keep troubling the Pope. The Pope is supposed to be the highest authority of religion at this time. But what happens is that Dr. Faustus, who's a scholar of religion, wants to do everything to subvert his intellect, his intellectual abilities. He has studied religion, he has become a scholar, but he wants to break that tradition. That is what we call subversion. We talk about this in postmodernism, last half of the 20th century. But you can see subversion in 16th century, where Faustus says, yes, I know all this, I'm very good, I'm a great scholar, but I don't want this. Therefore, to show his protest, his revolt, he troubles Pope using black magic, necromancy. Then he conjures up a beautiful scene of drama for a duke. In this way, small or big, they keep using magic. So we find that Dr. Faustus' character is an over-ambitious character. We have a myth in Greek mythology, that is the Icarus myth, Icarus. That is called overreaching. Icarus wanted to reach the sun, so he asked for a blessing. He said, I want wings. He was given the wings of wax. Wax is with what we make candle. So he was given wings of wax. He could fly and reach the sun. But the sun is so hot that the wings melted and he fell down to his end. So we use this Icarus image to describe Dr. Faustus by saying that over-ambition, overreaching is always dangerous. Dr. Faustus had everything he needed, but he wanted something more. And for this something more, he used black magic. He used necromancy. That is the mistake he made. So he's immature, his decisions are wrong, and he's always vacillating. Vacillating is not being able to decide, moving between one point and the other. After writing his soul, in a bondage, he keeps thinking of God. He says, "Oh God, did I do right or wrong?" Then again, he enjoys his power and his position and all the things which his magic brings him. Then he says, "No, God, nothing." After some time, he regrets again. His conscience keeps pricking him. And then he finds that, he is again going towards God. God, will God forgive me? At the end, this becomes much more. When the 24 years are coming to an end, Mephistopheles says, "This is finished. Now Lucifer will come and take away your soul." He says, "No, I don't want to give my soul." He cries out to God. But that is too late. So his quality of vacillation, his quality of not knowing what he really wants, the quality of enjoying himself, these are what, are the tragic flaws. He gives importance to sense experiences. There is also a description of Calvinism to analyze his character. The Calvinistic doctrine was a doctrine of predeterminism. Everything is predetermined, everything is well determined. Therefore, when Dr. Faustus gives away his soul, it is not his fault. It is the fault of destiny. At this point, we discuss the themes. This theme of fate and free will is a very important theme. Does Faustus really have free will? Does he make a choice, or is he compelled to make a choice? Then you have the theme of enjoyment, the theme of sensual pleasures. That is very important because we are talking now of freedom and bondage. When Dr. Faustus writes his bond and seals it with his blood, he is entering a bondage. He's becoming a slave of Lucifer, but he thinks of it as freedom. He feels that, "Oh, I've become free." This is something which is not correct, because what he perceives as freedom is actually bondage. What he perceived as bondage, when he was a scholar only and not a magician, that was real freedom, because he had the freedom of ideas, he had the freedom of expression. Now he doesn't have that because his whole mind is concentrated on a false freedom, a freedom which is not true, it is only a bondage. Now we also have necromancy as a very important theme. This was a topical theme. Please remember that at the time when this play was written, magic or black magic or the spiritual world, the world of heaven and hell, these attracted many people, much audience. When we are doing something, we need an audience. I keep telling you all in YouTube that I want my videos to reach maximum number of people so that all the effort I put in does not go waste. Similarly, these dramatists who were writing, like you have, Hamlet's father comes as a ghost. In Macbeth, which I have already done, Hamlet I'll do sometime later. In Macbeth, I told you, the Banquo's ghost comes. Then you have, Julius Caesar troubling the conscience of Mark Antony, of course, supports him, and Brutus is the one who really cannot bear this feeling of guilt. The three witches in Macbeth, all these were important for the audience of the 16th century. Therefore, necromancy becomes a very important theme because the attraction of magic is what diverts Faustus from the path of virtue. one last very important theme is the concept of morality. Now, what is real morality and what is secular morality? So, spiritual morality tells us to be good, to do good, to help everybody, not to, go beyond what you deserve, and so on. Secular morality questions all these concepts. Today we talk a lot about secular morality, but see Marlowe's foresight. He's talking about it in the 16th century. He says, Faustus chooses a morality which is selfish. He chooses for himself. So whether the play has a moral value or it has a moral lesson or not is something which you as the reader needs to decide. So read the play in its original form. You will enjoy it completely because Marlowe has written a very powerful play, and then listen to the video again so that once you have an idea of the play, you will get benefited by all the points which I have shared with you. Thank you and all the best.